Hey everybody, this episode of the Fitzall podcast is sponsored by Evaporust. You can pick up their new paint remover called Safe Erase for 25% off on Amazon in the lower 48. Use the discount code 25FitzallPod to get 25% off. Now enjoy the podcast. Thank you.
In 3 seconds time, who can make the most guns appear? On
I think you.
1, 2,
Oh god.
3.
I got nothing. Hold on.
He's got 4 gas cans. He's got a super soaker.
I win.
That's all I got. Because I'm not a. You can't have. Who keeps a gun in like a little fanny pack?
Guy right here. What were you singing earlier?
Oh, this is how we do it.
Friday night, and I feel alright. And the party's here on the west side, so I reach for my 40 and I get it. Sure did.
Did you actually just reach for your 40 though?
We do it.
I don't have a 40 on me, no. I have a 9mm on me. 9mm on me.
I'm pretty sure the 40 is like the alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a 40 caliber.
And not a gun, you crazy Texan.
So how's everybody doing considering the crazy times we live in right now?
Yeah, pretty good, actually. People stay away from me now, which is really what I wanted this whole time.
I don't think much has changed for all of us. I mean, I don't know. You guys could speak for yourselves, but not much has changed up here. We can't sit at the milk run. That's the one bad thing. You got to get it and go, whatever it is. Get coffee, leave. You can't sit and chat. So that little sense of community is definitely deadened a bit.
So it's
other than that,
what you're saying.
I just do what I always do. Just
ultimately, it's probably better to not sit in the milk run because when you do for more than like 2 minutes, you automatically smell like canola oil, like fried oil.
That's true.
So it's probably good not to sit in there. Yeah, things haven't changed much for me either. I would say they probably have for my wife quite a bit, but I still come to my office and do my things and not around anybody. So that's not much of a change.
Pretty much. Yeah, I
say that they really enjoy this whole social distancing thing better than they thought they would.
It's just the social distancing is just against human nature.
You want to
just want like we evolved socially, and that's what made us better than non-social animals. So it's tough, and like I can't go to Home Depot 47 times a week because I forgot one screw.
Oh god!
I have to just deal with whatever's in my workshop.
Is your Home Depot closed?
No, it's open, but I don't want to go and be near human beings.
Oh, because ours is open.
Ours is open, and they'll limit people that can go in at a time, and everyone stays away. But
you cannot in Dallas. 150 people is the maximum amount of people that can be in any building at any given time. Like if you go to the grocery store, there'd be a line in front of some of them to get in, and they have like off-duty SWAT guards there. It's ridiculous.
150? That's still too many people.
Yeah, well, the stores here are large.
Yeah, but no, it's not okay. Ours is 10.
We tried to go to Walmart the other night, and Walmart now is only open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. It's not 24 hours like it obviously used to be. So that's not a big inconvenience, but we just got to, because we always do our shopping in the middle of the night. We never ever go shopping.
Jimmy, we know.
Sun up.
We know.
Seriously.
The stories that y'all create when you're at the Walmarts are always so joyfully received.
No, a couple people said they're missing the late night trips. Me and Taylor, it's funny. Me and Taylor just spent like a solid week together. She said, "Thank God for this thing because I never get to hang out with you this much. You're always like got some to-do lists, something to edit, which I've done, but." Her show got canceled. She was working very, very intently trying to get this show prepared for. She's doing an Architectural Digest furniture show that should have been taking place right this minute, and it got canceled, of course, or pushed down the road to June. And so suddenly she didn't have as much stuff to do. She had time on her hands, and then obviously, I was supposed to be going to do a couple things that got canceled, and so anyway.
All the traveling is unfortunate, especially with your specific country having the world record worst response to this pandemic.
Do you expect anything different?
Yeah, I guess. Like, as a Canadian or someone not American, we're just sitting there like, what is happening?
Do you have like 6 cases? How many do you guys have?
No, in Canada, there's like 5,000 cases.
Here we have 700.
Way more than that. No, but way more than 5,000 in Canada.
It's under 6,000. Oh no, it's just over 6,000 there today.
6,243.
Yeah. Anyways, it's unfortunate because that just means it's going to be even longer before I can come see you guys again, because you have to come down from a higher point.
Well,
yeah, I got your salad saw, but I can't send it.
We should just inject you 2 things with a hot beef injection and the coronavirus, and just see if you live.
Yeah, I'll take both. I know that's kind of disappointing with the traveling. I had like a lot of stuff to do. My brother was supposed to get married in Italy this year.
Oh yeah, scratch that.
Like in a few months, that's not happening at all. So yes, for everyone, it's been obviously a big change. I just wish you guys would have.
Don't say you guys. We're following the rules, you punk.
Yeah, but I'm saying the people who make the rules are.
Hey, I'm from New York. You know whose side I'm on.
No, it's just generally like personally, I'm not really impressed with any government's response to this globally. There's only maybe a few countries that have done a somewhat decent job. Most countries have waited too late.
I tell you what, in all honesty, I mean, I'm not defending or offending Trump. I think no matter what any politician would have done in America, people would have complained. If we started preparing for this thing in the beginning of January, everybody would have been like, what are you talking about? It's just a cold. And if we were still on lockdown until like the middle of March and then we finished it by then, there would have been a disastrous response to the people who've been like, there's no problem. What are you talking about? And then when all of a sudden it seems like there might be a little bit of a problem, they're like, oh, you waited too long. So I think no matter what you do, no matter what the president or the governors or anything would have done, it would have been, that's the bad decision. That's just my opinion. That's human nature, I think, is to always take the...
Yeah, but it's got to be cheaper.
I'm going to personalize this for 1 second. That's why I hardly ever tell anybody my ideas, because the minute you tell them, they're like, what's wrong with you? That's crazy. But now imagine trying to tell a country your idea. I'm going to put metal on the front of a guitar. What is wrong with you? And then all of a sudden they seem to like, oh, actually, it's pretty cool. So that's what I'm saying. That's like human nature.
For haters.
What I'm saying is that it's much less expensive to just take the early hate than to end up closing a country for 2 months. It seems a little stupid. But, America can do what they want to do. I feel like in a year or something, there'll be, we'll look back and we'll know who did the right steps and I guess who didn't.
I don't think it's really about that. I think we need to focus more on how do we get around and over this thing, and not so much who did what, when, where, and why.
Yeah, that's what I mean. In like a year, people can start pointing blame, but right now it's not the time for that.
Yeah.
Listen, you can't forget Americans are notoriously minded freely, like without 100%. A lot of.
We're going to go to the beach. We're going to do what we want.
Yeah.
Like I was saying to you guys on the phone or the other time, like I feel like Americans would rather die than have somebody tell them what to do.
It's so fucking true.
Right? Which is absolutely amazingly admirable that you will die for your freedom no matter what, which is amazing, but in this case, it's a little crazy.
Well, and most of the time too, we can defend anything that is said, right?
Yes.
Oh,
with guns.
Yeah. So we can say whatever we want, I guess, at that point, which is ridiculous. Thought.
I have a couple questions, guys. Is this episode sponsored?
Of course.
And if so, does anybody want to take the lead on that when it's comfortable? But the second thing I want to ask is, what I think, just as a matter of a discussion, I wonder if there's a couple of predictions that we could all make going into what's going to happen once this thing ends. Like, what are some of the patterns, the human patterns that are going to change going forward? Like, have you put any thought into that? Like once this thing cools off, if it cools off, say in July, like what's going to happen from that point forward that's going to be different than coming up to this point?
I think what this is going to do and is doing ultimately is allowing people to slow down and get to know really what their environment and what their surroundings and what is going on, instead of, rush here, do this, rush there, do that, jump in here, jump out there, da 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 da. Like, I've noticed people in my neighborhood, especially, like, neighbors are out on their lawn with social distancing in place on they got lawn chairs and a glass of wine and they're talking. Like, you never see that.
Yeah.
Outside of something like this. Like, I never see as many people outside as I do now.
That's true. That's definitely so. Getting to know your neighbors is a good one. Eric, you got one? We'll do round robin.
Yeah, there's a million. If you're talking like permanent societal changes, for sure, people will be a lot more cognizant of personal space,
touching stuff.
Yeah, personal space and that kind of stuff. For sure, I feel like that would be a big effect. There might be people's opinions might change on funding science and healthcare, which I would personally enjoy as a scientist.
Interesting.
On top of that, people might not enjoy globalization as much. Considering if this was actually still completely out of control in China, you probably wouldn't be able to buy a lot of what you could buy today.
Right, products in general.
So it might be more.
Was it convenient? The worst last word he said that was audible was nightmare.
Every time you say something important, somebody hits the garble button. Say it again.
Oh God.
Okay, so wait, there's a guy that listens to the podcast, Eric says. Eric, fill in the blank.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, not the podcast.
What was the last thing you heard?
No, there's a guy out there somewhere that is open to sending Eric an industrial Wi-Fi router.
Oh, that. We were talking about that. Yes, that would be exciting. I also would like to just hardwire the internet somehow into my workshop.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to be possible. But back to what I was saying, I think globalization would maybe be less pronounced and we'd have more local production of essential items. Like Canada specifically, no one in Canada makes ventilators.
Right.
Wow.
Right. And that's kind of an issue now, an unforeseen issue, but maybe in the future, those kind of a list of essential things might just every country's got to be like, okay, we got to know how to make these.
Yeah. I think it's a really good observation that, it seems fairly obvious that local manufacturing is going to kick up again. Like made in America, I think is going to kick up a little bit harder than ever before. It's definitely going to be a thing because now, imagine even like, are people going to want things? I hate to say this because I'm just repeating what I've heard. People are not going to want things made in China as much. They're going to be obviously more, they're going to think, it's got something wrong with it, unfortunately. Yep. But, that's just the bad PR campaign. And, so, and then another big thing, a lot of people have been saying to me, wow, boy, like even my business partner, we spoke this morning, his name is Howard. Howard calls me because, man, you're a genius. I said, what did I accidentally do right this time? He goes, dude, being up there, because he's in the suburbs near New York City. And he's like, being up there, he goes, I said, why don't you and he has a little investment guys. I go, put a couple guys together and buy $1 million property up here. You have a giant horse farm. I said, I'll manage it for you. A place with, 10 bedrooms. You can get anything up here. Like upstate property is super cheap, on a giant comparison. And already. I know a lot of people are like, man, as soon as this thing settles, I'm going to get a piece of property upstate, a place to escape to. I mean, I got my eggs. We got water. You heard my turkey out there just now. As long as I get eggs and water, and we can make bread. I think.
Eggs.
I said to
Eggs and water.
I'm an eggs and water guy. What can I say?
No, but I mean, I'm being a little silly. But what if they decide to close the stores?
Yes.
They already closed everything else.
Yeah,
What if
it's
they
not
decide
outside
to
of the possibility.
Let's say, okay, essential stores are only open 3 days a week now to try and slow the curve.
Yeah.
What if that happens? What if they say, people are getting the disease from touching the gas pumps? We're going to shut the gas pumps off. Or, we're going to have like a designated gas pump guy so that only his hand touches the thing. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just, and we're all exchanging money too. Everybody's exchanging money. Like I'm paying now with a debit card almost everywhere I go, even if it's $2. I'm like, I'm paying with this. I hope you don't mind. They're like, no worries.
Yeah.
And nobody said anything about money and dollar bills. I'm getting these like greasy, shitty dollar bills back. I'm like, where the hell? This looks like it's been up somebody's ass. Like you're actually.
I went through a toll booth the other day, and it was like $2.75, and I handed the lady a $5 bill, and I was like, "Keep the change."
Yeah.
Because I didn't want that change in my stuff.
Yeah, that's a high throughput position.
Going through Hudson, it says exact change only.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It's only it's like a $1.25 bridge, but they want exact change.
Yeah,
or easy pass only. That's what it says.
I also think working from home will be a little more popular. Maybe some companies will finally realize like all of their meetings could have just been a goddamn email. Like unnecessarily meeting would maybe go down. That would be kind of nice. I don't really know. It's going to be incredibly interesting.
It will be.
I really don't fully yet understand what the life is in a few months. You guys are just getting started with lockdowns. Like you're maybe 2 weeks into a lockdown. I don't even know. But in some areas in Canada, they've already peaked or at least lowered the amount of new cases to like a manageable amount. And I don't really know how they're going to open things back up. They can't open them in the same speed that they close them. And the second you open anything, it's an incredibly risky move. And it could start it all over again. So I don't really know. No one seems to really be discussing, and some people have ideas, but I assume we just do social distancing
forever
for the next 18 months until a vaccine is available or until there's some pharmaceutical therapy treatments that would reduce the symptom severity, because there's just no other way. You can't have a flare-up and an outbreak, and then you got to close everything up again. Like, it's just going to annihilate the economy. So I don't really know what the plan is in a few months.
Well, I don't think anything's coming. Everything's going to be better by Easter,
Yeah. It's not a month thing. It's not a 2 month thing. Like the lockdown is a short amount of time, but the social distancing is probably for a very long time, unfortunately. And do they wait until we have 0 cases for 2 weeks and then we open things up? Or are we just going to accept a base level of new cases every day that is manageable, but we still maintain that social distance and then hope for the best and still limit group sizes and no concerts and blah, blah. Like, I don't know.
Drink hand sanitizer forever.
Yeah, I don't get what the future really is on this, because it's just never been done before.
It's probably until a vaccine is available that it's just going to be a question mark.
I would assume so.
Would be awesome if they figure out like Charleston Chews cure this and
yes, you nailed it.
Charleston.
That's the key.
Reese's peanut butter cups cure this. It'll be like.
Guys, get the peanut butter. Get the Americans on the line stat.
Or cinnamon crispy toast cereal.
Yeah, just
like sugar smacks.
No, it's the Sour Patch Kids cereal.
That's what will cure this.
That's
Imagine
the key. God damn. Yeah, so
Eric,
vaccine
you would
is
have the only package in Canada. Since
I
you
got
bought
it. I nailed it. I nailed it so good. Yeah, I don't know if can I see you guys in October? Is travel going to be open? Are they going to socially distance on the plane itself? Like, I highly doubt that.
Right.
Oh, on a plane? What are you going to do? One every other person?
Air Canada every day will release a list of flights that had confirmed people on them before they even knew. And if you sat 2 rows in front, behind, or beside that person, you are directly contacted by the government saying that you're at a large risk. But if you're further than that away, it's somewhat safer, apparently. So do we fly in the air with 2 rows spacing everywhere? Like, I don't think the airlines are going to really enjoy that.
Oh,
No, they would never be able
Right?
to.
So
I don't know
then
how the airlines
What
recover.
do you do? Just sit beside someone who's secretly going to murder your whole family?
we all go around like with biohazard people. That's what's going to be the way.
Yeah, so I don't. Is that fine? And then you just get it because you get it, and then they can treat you at least because the healthcare system isn't destroyed. I don't know. I really don't know. Like the travel thing has got to be one of the last things that reopens. Especially like in New York. My God, one of the busiest places on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And now,
Let me ask you something. Do you think there's going to be a run on antique machines now that this?
because all the old people are dying.
Who knows? No, are you saying that because people were wanting to do more stuff?
Well, yeah, but that and then people are just going to start liquidating stuff. Everything, people are going to need to make some quick cash.
It's a tough call because everyone's kind of hurting for money right now. So maybe, but at the end of the day, this won't even kill 0.1% of your population. So it's not a major wipeout. At least if America deals with it properly.
Andrew, what was your thought? You have the stick.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I was just thinking out loud about a possibility of creating a company that bought collections in a time like this.
Mm-hmm.
For resale purposes, instead of like hiring an auction company to come in and paying them, or them getting a buyer's premium for selling your stuff. Would it or would it not make more sense just to go in and buy the whole thing and have an auction with no buyer's premium, so that the money that's being made is actually to offset the...
If you got the liquid and you could do it, I mean, it'll be interesting. And you got you could probably put a couple people to work too. Let's say you decide to buy a couple, like that shop we saw in Atlanta. Did that deal come and go?
Yeah.
That was the end of that. Yeah. At
least
for now.
We exchanged some emails and stuff, and it's dead.
Yeah. They're going to sit on that. They're just going to sit on that until it gets swept away then.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes, when it floods one day from the leaking.
Have y'all ever used Evaporust before?
Evaporust?
Yeah.
We got I'm going to say, let's just put it to the audience. Somebody come up with an Evaporust jingle that sounds like it's from the 1940s Grand Ole Opera. That would be awesome.
And it has to say, Evapo, trust me.
Evapo, trust me.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember one night we were having dinner with David, the owner of Evaporust, and his wife and their employees, and we were talking about ideas of things in their corporate office to make Evaporust even cooler, and we said that it would be cool to have like a David's office inside of an Evaporust tank, to where like you could see
clear tank. So if he wants to derust something, all he has to do is just throw it over his shoulder, and it'll just go into the tank.
Like, I need my shop to flood with Evaporust, and I just throw rusty tools on the ground and pick them up when I need it.
Is it too early? Is it too early to announce the culmination of this Evaporust promotion, where it's going to end when we're all together in Arkansas, dunking drill presses and rusty cars into the tremendous?
Well, I hope we get to do that. That would be nice if I can travel.
Just drive, dude.
Yeah, I guess I could. What's that drive? Jeez, 40-hour drive?
Yeah, it's called Suicide Alley.
Yeah.
You drive down it.
Yeah, I'll touch as many people as humanly possible on the way down. Oh my god. Yeah, I would love to do that. I cannot wait with that giant the world's largest evaporust tank.
Yep.
What is evaporust, guys? What is, y'all keep using this word? What is evaporust?
Evaporust is this magic non-toxic gel. I want to make something really clear. So did you guys see this week? This is a whole nother story, but me and Taylor are looking at a hoarder house down the road. It's a house that
whorehouse?
Hoarder. The goddamn
hoarder. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There's a imagine one of us is 99 years old and we have an Irish accent and we live in a house until we just drop dead in it. There's this house down the road. It's got like millions of egg crates in it. It's got like tools on every surface. I haven't found the lathe yet, but I'm finding all sorts of lathe parts. And I went in the basement and I found those few wrenches the other day in a toolbox that I had to kick to pry open. It was all rusted shut. And I said, this would be a great evaporust experiment. So I brought it home. I did it on my Instagram story. You can even look back in the flashback. I made a special story for it. But a couple of people contacted me and said, how can evaporust eat away the rust on those wrenches and not melt the bag that I had in? The way I make like a quick little chamber is I put a plastic bag in a box and I just alligator clip it to the edge. And a couple people were like, how can it eat rust and not melt the bag? Eric, you're a scientist. How does that happen?
It's just science. Don't worry about it.
Their take on it is that it's got to be some caustic chemical that's going to be able to eat away the rust. It should also melt the bag.
Not. Like, they clearly have no understanding of chemistry.
Make them feel stupid.
Everybody needs to know is it's real easy. It's evaporust. If you have something that's rusty and you don't want rust on it and it's metal, you put it in a vat of evaporust and you come back later and the rust is gone.
Yes, I think we know
fist
that.
it. You can stick your hand in it. Wait, you can fist it.
You could, technically, yeah. Yeah, the actual ingredients are obviously highly prized and secret. Very secret. But there's water. Okay, congrats. There's a chelating agent that takes iron oxide and away from the steel and then holds it in suspension. So filtering it kind of helps, but not it doesn't really make a massive difference. And that's pretty much it. There's tons of chelating agents in the world. Some of them are even fertilizers.
Explain to me, what is a chelating agent?
I just explained it to you.
Oh.
It binds. It's a type of chemical that binds to iron and then will remove the rust.
Don't make words up that you don't know, son. What is this chelating business?
It's literally right there on the screen.
Wait. Let me ask you a question. Is there a code?
Is there a code for this?
Use code 25 Fitzall pod. That's 25 FITZALLPOD.
This one's for this. The paint strip.
Safe erase.
Yes. Which I finally did get a chance to try on numerous things, including Japanning, which was my number one concern because it's been really hard to find any paint stripper, even aircraft paint, like the most toxic possible paint stripper, to strip Japanning. And this is supposed to be, the one from Vapora is supposed to be much more safe than
works.
The aircraft stripper.
It does
and this one actually worked.
It works amazing.
It actually worked on Japanning, but it was very slow on Japanning. But it actually worked for the first time ever. Like, I've put industrial strength paint stripper on Japanning and let it sit for like 24 hours. It didn't even do anything. So I'm actually impressed. And it obviously works on everything else then.
What is do we have a discount code? Is it the same one as last time? Use code 25 Fitzall pod. That's 25 FITZALLPOD.
There's still lots of the safe erased available. So give it a try if you're trying to do Japanning.
Remove any paint remover.
Well, literally any paint.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much guaranteeing that it would remove any paint. I'm just specifically interested in the Japanning aspect because I need to find a solution, and this is the closest thing I've found so far.
I want to just say, I also want to say one thing, and you guys could chime in when I'm done talking. I think this last promotion we did for the last episode was amazing. So many people responded, and the guys over at Evaporust are super thankful, and so are we, that you guys would take our word and go and jump on that promotion.
And we also like seeing all the videos that everybody puts up about what they're and tagging Evaporust and us in them.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I can't believe how many people use the.
So thank you all for that.
Use the code. That was sweet. It's good. It's good that they finally got their hands on some. Maybe they were waiting to use it. I really want to put this. So the next major use for the Safer Race paint stripper stuff is for the massive power hammer.
Could you explain us? We'll get back to Evaporust in a minute. What the fuck is going on with that wedge? Did you get it out yet?
Okay, let me just start.
Get it out. I like your fucking stories have become a podcast because I just put it on and listen. I usually just watch. Now I just listen. And my phone's in the room and I have it on my headset, so I'm just listening to you struggle and grunt and moan and going, "What the fuck? What the fuck?"
I can't tell you how bad I've wanted to punch him in the face all week long.
Andrew had to call me to tell me that I'm literally a piece of human garbage because of what I'm doing with my life in this power hammer. Okay.
Literally, I told him, I was like, "I'll ship you a gun so you can kill yourself."
Are you any closer to getting the wedge out? Are you any closer?
Well, define closer.
Oh my God.
Further away from the beginning.
Yes, I am closer than I was at the beginning.
That means he hasn't got it. He hasn't even remotely got it to move yet.
So my
centimeter.
Okay, so let's just quickly frame of reference this for anyone who doesn't specifically know what I've been up to. Since being in quarantine because my children are sick with something, probably nothing, but anyways, they may have the sickness. I don't know. I decided to give some time to the large 150-pound Fairbanks power hammer that I have that fell over 100 years ago, and someone picked it up finally 30 years ago. So it was incredibly rusted. And everything is seized to the max. I spent about 2 days trying to get the flywheels to turn, and I finally got those. And then I spent maybe 3 or 4 days trying to get various keys out so I could remove the dies and not cry about it. So that's the kind of frame of reference that you might need before I tell more of the story. But I've just been uploading my struggle with this thing on Instagram, and it's been absolutely crazy the amount of people messaging me and commenting on what I've been up to. I'm very happy that it provided some entertainment for people that are long. But yeah, that's the most viewed any of my stories in the history of time have ever been.
Because it's such an anticipated struggle to see, what's next? What are you going to try next? What weld
next?
Is going to break next? How's it going to do next?
What massive failure is Eric going to come up with next?
Yeah.
Is basically what it is. So the current status is all of the keys are removed except for the one that is still massively stuck.
So the bottom die is still stuck in the frame.
The bottom die is... My last plan is I took a 1-inch thick rod of 01 tool steel, shaped it, forged it into a tapered shape that I could slide beside the other key and try to punch out the other key from behind, which is in the die. So I have a very, Did
you get that idea from Will Stelter?
No. It's just, I've been hammering it out with round punches, and the punches keep bending. So I thought, let's beef that up. And it just bent the hell out of it, even after tempering and heat treating. And it's too thin. It's not the way to go.
So did you get the die to move at all? Let's say, for instance, if you put a chalk line on it between the die and the frame and you whack the die to the left or to the right, and that chalk line hasn't misaligned at all.
No, not even.
You don't have any movement, nothing.
No movement. I've smashed this die with a sledgehammer repeatedly.
What about like Rosebud heating up the whole bottom block and then letting it cool off and then heating it up day after day?
I'd probably never be able to heat that up. It's a 1,500-pound anvil.
Well, the only option he has is an oxygen lance to get it out.
Yeah, that's basically. I have drill bits, and that is an option, but it's so unbelievably slow. It's
it'll break. They'll break in there. You'll be stuck.
And I'll break them off 100%. So
now, you're going to use a lance, does that mean you're going to put a big piercing in the bottom die block?
No, you would have to run it through the key for sure. And I think if you got started on the key, it would get hot enough it would finally come out.
Yeah. So that's the plan. So an oxygen lance, we've talked about it before on the podcast, but in case all the new listeners don't know, it's basically a steel tube, and you pump oxygen through the tube, and you light the actual steel on fire at the end of the tube, and the oxygen keeps that steel burning. It starts melting that out, and you have a great focused heat source that's well beyond what you could do with just like a normal oxy setup.
I've had David Demois do it with some of my equipment before.
Yeah, I remember those videos. Those were super interesting. Yeah. So
it's kind of a wild process, but it's fun. It works unbelievably.
I can't believe it exists as a process, and yeah, it definitely works. Like how else would you cut 2-foot thick steel?
Play that.
A hole in it. So that's our plan, or at least my plan. If all else fails, that's right. Just the only way to do it. Yes, I've seen this YouTube video of a guy making one.
So if y'all are listening and want to know exactly what we're seeing as far as videos playing or whatever, you can log on to our YouTube, our Fitzall podcast YouTube channel, and you can watch exactly what we're seeing. CC Google.
Yeah, you just need oxygen and a metal pipe and some hose.
Well, if you've got that there, why don't you make it there, smarty pants? Let's go. You and Tom Cooler and stupid ass thing for a week and a half. Come on.
Because I really don't know what I'm doing in terms of safety.
It's just elementary. So what? Blow the house up.
This one he just uses an old brake line and then some flex tubing attached to a
this is amazing.
Burnzomatic oxygen tank.
Those oxygen tanks last about 13 seconds. I've tried.
That's all he needs. It's a sex line. Same thing. Yeah. All he just short and sweet.
Yeah. My concern is basically I don't have any of the proper equipment. Like I would be shoving this into a blind hole and molten metal is shooting back out of my face.
No, just hang upside down from a ladder or from something.
Oh, okay.
And
like Spider.
Yeah, like Spider-Man. And then just, extend your arm all the way out and just it'd be awesome.
So this is literally, if something is so stuck, this is the ultimate solution. It makes whatever's stuck completely liquid, and then it can't be stuck because it's liquid.
Did you see the video?
Steel in the bottom of it. That's just to light the steel initially.
The steel wool is just to light it because you have to light steel.
Is he making a baked potato or is that a rock? What is that?
He's boring a hole through a rock. Like it'll melt rock.
Oh, it will. Wow.
Yes, it's extremely hot.
What about, did I send you guys a video of the EDM, the guy that did the electrical discharge?
Yes. That's also very sensual.
This guy takes little, basically like a steel filament and he's poking them through steel hardened ball bearings. But I think it needs to be underwater for it to happen.
Yes, it does. It's not electronic dance music. It's electric discharge machining.
Is that what CC pulled up? EDM music?
Yeah, it's just EDM music.
Okay, I want to tell y'all a story off topic. So the pollen count or the pollen levels around here have been off the charts. And I feel like my head is full of pollen, right? My sinuses got all stopped up.
So
anyways, I woke up this morning and I was like, God bless, I feel like my head is in a vice and all this stuff. And she's like, have you ever done a nasal douche before? And I was like, what did you just say to me?
Oh, yeah.
I've
Neti
never
pot.
heard anybody call it that, by the way.
It's a neti pot.
Neti pot. I haven't watched the video from the company that I use the saline. Dude, I have never been more grossed out in my entire life about what's inside my body. Oh my God. I wanted to kill myself.
Would die. You would die just seeing what's in there.
No, so I did it. I squeeze. So ultimately you have this canister with the little nozzle on the top, and you stick it in one of your nostrils, you hold your breath, and you squeeze, and it goes through your sinus cavity and literally pours everything inside your sinus cavity out into the sink in front of your face. This should not be legal. I have
bullets and change and lint, pocket lint.
Like welding splatter and slag and black stuff and brown stuff, and like an alien of booger goo came out, and I was like, I've never been more grossed out by not only a human being but myself in my entire life.
Oh God.
Guys, you remember about 2 months ago, I had sinus problems. I was all worried I had like skull cancer, and I went to the doctor, and he gave me some antibiotics, which cleared it up, but he also said I should do that. So we bought the neti pot, which I just showed you guys on camera, and Taylor's been doing it, but I haven't had the guts to do it yet. Now that you've done it, maybe I'll do it.
It's awful. It's awful. Yeah. It's rewarding, and it's disgusting, and so many things all in one shot.
Yeah, and it's only like a temporary fix, really.
Yeah, but it allows you to breathe. Like, I can breathe right now. Even though I still feel like my sinuses are swollen or whatever, but...
Yeah, because just take medicine.
Where do you go get it? You mean just run down to the local Walmarts and get it?
Just take antihistamines.
I'd rather be sick.
You'd rather be sick than take effective medication.
Yeah.
Scientifically proven medication.
Oh, this company right here, NeilMed.
Yeah, sinus rinse.
If you watch their YouTube thing, it calls it a nasal douche.
Oh, I hate that. Why would you want to be in the business of nasal douches? Like, name it anything else on earth.
I agree with that. Like, here, this guy's fixing the nasal douche. Okay, I've seen my wife do this before, and I also wanted domestic violence to be legal at that very time. Because it's not right. Like, that... You shouldn't be able to squirt water in one of your nostrils and then out the other side see like death reincarnated come into the sink.
I wish it went actually into your sinuses though.
What does it do?
Well, like it's definitely not getting in. Well, maybe it is, but I doubt it's getting into your sinuses like the ones above your eyes.
Oh
yeah. At that point, you'd fucking be drowning.
Yeah, like that.
Dry land.
That's where all that good stuff is.
Usually when I'm sick, and I actually tried this one time. I got a shop vac, and I started reducing the size of the hose down to where it was like a 3/8 hose. And I shoved it in my nose to try to get it to suck the snot out of it.
That collapse your eyeball. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, like what is you suck your eyeball through your nose?
I didn't care. I was that miserable. I was like, I got to get this sinus out of my thing. It actually did not work at all. Not even close.
You know, it's a good way to pick your nose. Let me show you.
Oh, God.
I don't pick my nose, by the way.
This is why people listen to this podcast.
It's the blunt end of the.
Oh my God!
Of my ice pick sheet.
You should jump in that to where you could make it to trim your nose hairs. It's multi-purpose.
Or just a punch.
I do this too. Look.
Oh! Jimmy, stop it!
Clean his ears.
Stuff his ice pick down his ear. Or
just the sheath part, not the pointy part.
Oh my God.
Oh, that makes it okay.
Yeah.
Psychopath.
Why do both of y'all have those in your hands? Where's mine?
I don't know. It's just always on here. I use it for stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Let's do it quick.
I was gonna say my buddy Sean in Louisville. Every time he goes to the store, he sends me a picture and he shows me like 7 clips. His I think it must be a 40 cal and his ice pick. He goes, I'm going to get toilet paper. every time he's like, I'm going to get milk, I'm going to get eggs or whatever. Yeah. He always has his clips, his gun, and his ice pick. So Sean,
the toilet paper thing being sold out is one of the most hilarious things.
It is.
It just makes no sense to me.
It's great.
the food should be sold out first.
That's what I mean.
Like, how do you have food and no toilet paper?
Like,
Don't you have to? You got to eat food first, right? Is that what you're saying?
100%. Like, it makes no sense. It's amazing. I love that. You know what other virus we should actually talk about on this podcast?
The coronavirus.
Is Hantavirus.
Oh yeah, that's a scary one. I didn't know that.
As a general antique machinery PSA, everyone listening should know about this specific virus. It's another respiratory disease, except horrendous. And it basically kills you in like 36 to 72 hours.
And how do you not get it?
How do you not get it? Don't be alive.
How do you get it first?
Okay, so how you get it is it's stored. The virus itself is a mouse virus. So wherever there are mice or remnants of mice, i.e. mouse poop, then you're at risk of breathing in this virus and subsequently dying from that. So, if you're out picking hoarder's house, let's say, Jimmy, generally best practice would be to wear a mask because this one's not that
Scientists believe that people may not be able to get the virus they do believe that people will get the virus if they touch something that's been contaminated with rodent urine droppings or saliva and then touch their nose or mouth.
Yes. So very similar to kind of what we're doing right now anyways, but it's a very low risk in that it's not a very common virus, but it does exist, and it's in the United States, and it's in Canada. It's completely global. I don't know where it originated from, but it's something to keep an eye out for. I always do. I don't really enjoy, like Jimmy opening up a motor and ripping out a mouse nest without a mask is not the smartest.
Oh, the mouse.
Like I said, it's not. Oh, okay, yeah. Like I said, it's not a massive risk, but it is something that exists. I don't know when the last person that died from it was, though. Maybe it's still going around the States. I know Texas has a bunch. Because
the cure, there is no cure, right? Like, I mean, it's obvious the death rate's higher than Corona, isn't it? Like the death likelihood.
It's like 50%. Or something ridiculous. But you have a few days to live, I guess.
This whole thing is like, Eric, you're gonna freak everyone out. They're gonna not even.
I am just keeping them informed. Like it's not the smartest move to just go into an old barn and start moving shit around and get all dusty and breathe it in. It's just not a good idea.
Listen, I've been doing that my whole life, and I'm normal. So what's the problem?
Exactly, and that's because the risk is low. It just is a risk. If people died in 2019, and maybe CC, you could look that up and let me know. Like the most recent death, like maybe the virus is freaking gone in America. I have no idea.
Which would mean that the last 3 minutes of everyone's life you just wasted.
Well, there's some listeners that aren't in America. Okay.
Oh, I see.
New Mexico in 2019.
June of last year, she says.
Yeah, someone just died last week in China from it, so that's great. But I just keep an eye out. I don't purposely try to breathe in a bunch of mouse feces.
I eat mouse feces for breakfast.
Well, if you eat it, you're safe.
So, guys, you just brought up my lathe, the new lathe I got. Let's talk about a 1940.
Wait, he skipped right out of that conversation, didn't he?
No, well, the reason you bring it up, it's funny because I was kind of doing my detective work trying to figure out how I'm going to match the wires to the wires on the switch, which I think I've successfully done at this point. I haven't run it yet.
Really? Well done.
I'll explain how. But I'm looking up under the motor trying to decide if I should take it apart, and I see there's a big repair on the motor housing. I'm like, okay, that could have only been repaired unless this motor was dismantled. And then I take off the front, and I see the bearing. There's a lock that holds the shaft against the bearing. It's got a thrust bearing, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty chewed up. This thing has been opened a bunch of times. So I whacked out it, got it all apart, and the whole interior winding was filled with what looked like a moving blanket that was chewed up by mice and burned up in there. So I was able to pull all that out. There was a lot of rust in the housing from urine, but it wasn't where the winding is. Thankfully, it was on the other side, the front half. But Patrick said it. When I first showed it to Patrick, I'm like, how are we going to match these wires? He goes, if it's the cut from that cut, he goes, we'll just literally look at them under a microscope and try and match the cut to the cut. And I put on a pair of head goggles, glasses on top of my glasses, and I'm looking at it really close, and I picked up like 5 of them, and they all had the same angle. I'm like, this looks like this, looks like this, looks like this. I was like, what the hell am I going to do? And I started peeling back the fabric because it's got this old fabric on top of the rubber, and the fabric leaves an impression on the rubber, and every single piece of rubber coating has a line down the middle of it, probably from when it was manufactured.
Oh, good.
So that was my indication. So the snip line is at an angle almost every time, about like a 30 degree angle. And the line will intersect either the side of the angle, the top of the angle, or the bottom of the angle. Right. And it was, once I realized what I had to do, it was basically like matching colors. Because I just had to line that line up with the angle of the cut. And I had to do a few opinions on and really kind of look back and forth. A couple of the cuts were a little mangled from like a dull snip, or like maybe like you ever try and cut a wire deep down in the crotch of a pair of lineman pliers and it actually crushes it. It doesn't actually cut it. So
that's when you get new pliers.
Yeah, I agree. So anyway, the jerk off.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that. That was very cool that you came up with that idea on how to get it going instead of. I mean, I'm not an electrician, so I wouldn't know any other way either. But it's neat that you put forth that effort, and I'm excited to see it going. Actually,
it's like CSI restoration.
That's a pattern maker lathe, right?
Yeah, it's got a cross feed, and it's got a long rack and pinion gear so I could basically make something like I could machine a piece of wood. It doesn't have a lead screw, so you're not making any threads on it. But I could run the rack down the whole ways, and it's 12 feet long. It's got three sets of legs, and it's sexy as hell. And online, I put it on my Instagram story. I found the original picture of it where it sat when it was on auction from the guy I bought it from.
Yeah.
And he said he bought it at an auction, and when he showed up to pick it up, they had brought it down from the second floor. And when they brought it down from the second floor, they took the motor off. And to take the motor off, they had to cut all those wires.
They cut the wires. Yeah.
And that's what they did.
Yeah, that is the largest wooden lathe I have ever seen.
So what's the difference between a regular wooden lathe and a pattern maker's lathe?
This has the cross feed on it, and I could adjust the center hole in the back. It's got the machinist rest stop on it. It also has a, what do you call that when you have like a turret lathe, when you could like use an arm that swings the tailstock in so you could like burrow out a hole so you could like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen that one chick, Ashley, do that.
You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like you got an arm and you could actually take the tailstock would plunge. So if you send a drill on something.
Yeah.
It's got a couple of things.
Does it have an external tool holder, like one you can slide around?
It has a tool rest that's like a table base.
But does it have one like this one that's secondary?
Yep, that's the exact same one. That's the exact
and you
same
have
one.
that piece too?
I have that and all the accessories that came with it. That's the reason I bought it, because just for that.
Oh, this is the exact same lathe you got.
No, much longer.
That's
the direct drive motor is really cool. That's awesome.
I don't think that's a blunt, because I'm looking at some of the castings on it. That's a different brand, I'm sure.
It's a Fay.
Is it BLUNT?
Yeah.
BLOUNT. Did
you find that coppers thing too?
What's that?
You were looking at what the coppers brass tag is.
Oh, I don't know what that means. You said there's a number on it that says 1888 or 1855, I think.
Yeah. Did you see my message on what it could be?
I missed it. What is it? That's not it.
Oh, the Coppers was a company that made foundry castings for Ford parts.
Oh, wait. So that one right there that the cursor's over, the JG Blunt, that one, pattern maker's lathe. That's the same exact machine that this guy restored, but that one's a short one. Mine's a long one, but it's the same exact. Everything's the same, except mine's longer. It has all the same parts on it. If you dig into that article, the lathe is all green. The guy got it from an auction. I found like 4 of them on auctions that are all expired. I was all ready to go and buy a home. There's like this couple on auctions for like $200 and $300. I paid $1,200 for this one, but like right there it is in green.
So let me ask you this: so the wires that you hooked up were from the motor to that drum switch. So to adjust the variable speed. So there's a lot of wires, right?
It's, 14 wires. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of speed changes. Jesus.
Yeah.
So do you have the drum switch also figured out pretty good? I mean,
I got it all sorted out. Yeah, I said, every wire. So the manufacturer would have made the motor, and every wire had a little cuff on the end of it, which showed where it went. And that cuff is on the short little piece cut into the switch, cut away from the switch. So,
yeah.
So, but I've been able to label everything, and tonight I'm going to sit there with a soldering iron and some shrink wrap tubing and connect everything back together.
Do it.
Oh, solder.
Yeah. So it could have been from that factory then.
Which one?
The one that I just said.
What? I wasn't listening. What'd you say?
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. The coppers was a.
How can you not be listening? We just talked about it for 5 minutes. Jimmy, are you here? Jimmy, Earth to Jimmy.
Oh, you mean that I thought you meant the actual lathe. You mean the motor itself, the motor, the light, the.
Well, probably the whole lathe. Probably do pattern making on it.
Yeah.
Garble King.
Hey, Jimmy. How many days out of the week does someone walk into your house that you have no clue who they are, but you're just like, hey, what's up?
Oh, you just saw Aaron walking around in the background.
Yeah, like who in the hell? Like is like a plethora of people always there?
I attract the wayward. My buddy Ryan, who lives about 4 miles from here. I don't know if you guys have met him when you were here. Ryan just came by and he needs $50, so I said go clean my machine shop. So he's gonna clean my machine shop so he can get food and gasoline and kitty litter.
Cool. Why would you buy kitty litter? Why don't you just let the cat go outside?
Because the cat's gotten pregnant twice. That's why my 3 cats are his kittens.
Oh, I gotcha.
I took them away. I'm like, you're too irresponsible to have kittens. So I took all 3 of the 3 black kittens I have are his.
What is the do the 5 help stop coronavirus? What is that?
Just like don't look at me directly in the eye.
Hands, wash them often. Elbow, cough into it. Face, don't touch it. Space, keep distance. Home, stay. Okay. Stay at home. Yeah, that's cool. All right, I just had to see what that was.
It's so weird that like me being lazy on the couch, I'm like literally helping people survive.
So Eric, how's your new air compressor? Is that working good? You like it?
New air compressor is fantastic. Even when I'm sandblasting nonstop, it doesn't run the entire freaking time, which makes me very happy. It's set up in its nice little corner. The magnetic starter is set up. Actually, Patrick live videoed with me to help me sort that out because this exact one that I got doesn't have any instructions. Regardless, it has all the fancy dryers and air filters. It's like making my life much nicer.
You guys, I know this is a dumb question, but just to clarify, you guys are on the same type of electrical system that we are. You guys aren't like Europe 220. You're the same as us.
Same as you.
Right. So it doesn't change when you cross the border.
No, not at all.
But when you go into South America, I don't think it's the same. South America is more like Europe, I'm guessing.
I actually don't know. That's a good question. America's really interesting with the electrical grid. Like there are still parts of the Northeast that are on 2-phase power.
Really?
Which you would think doesn't exist. You would think single phase is basically 2-phase, but no, there's a specific 2-phase.
So look, Latin America still does the adapter like Europe. So Latin America is like that.
Yeah, but what's the frequency? Scroll down. It's 60 hertz or 50? Oh, it's 50. Some of them are 60.
It's a mess.
Yeah, like Argentina is 50, but Mexico's 60. Anyways, yeah, so that's fine. I do have a new welder on the way, finally.
What'd you buy?
I just got a multi-process one, so we're going to
Yeah, say the word. Say the manufacturer.
Oh, I just got an Everlast welder.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
What else am I going to do?
You're supposed to say Lincoln. Right. Otherwise, I don't get paid this month.
You're sheep.
No, Lincoln doesn't...
sheep.
Lincoln doesn't make the welder that I want. They don't have it. It doesn't exist on their lineup.
What do you want? You want a multi-processor? What? 300? 320?
Multi-process with AC TIG doesn't exist from Lincoln. They have a gap. No, they have a gap in their product lineup.
Oh, they don't have AC multi-process. You only have to, so you have to buy a dedicated machine for AC.
Which I know you suggested anyways, but I can hook up a bunch of tanks all at once, and I don't need to switch setups with this anyways.
Right.
So I will slowly learn that, because dealing with this freaking getting this key out, my welder literally doesn't have enough power to melt like 1/4-inch steel.
I was going to tell you should change the rods up.
Oh, they are.
Or you're using your MIG welding, aren't you?
It just doesn't have. It's not powerful enough.
Yeah.
Did you are you preheating your welds? Are you preheating your welds?
Well, by the time I'm done, the entire thing is red hot, and then I can just go over it anyways. It just isn't penetrating deep enough, and it's probably everything's wrong. Everything's wrong.
Oh, you're fine. You just got a challenged key in there.
Dude, the last attempt, it fully snapped like this, a 1-inch rod. A 1-inch steel rod. It pulled apart a 1-inch steel rod into 2 pieces.
Yeah, there's something that's going on.
It wasn't even at the weld. It was literally somewhere other than the weld. The entire threaded rod snapped into 2 pieces.
Yeah, I think the rod just met its tensile strength.
Literally. Which, for that, is an insane amount of force.
What, was it grade 5 bolt?
No, the rod. The bolt snapped. That's a whole different thing. I'm talking the main threaded rod that I was tightening the nut on.
Right. Yes.
It's just ridiculous. So I don't know what's going on. And like I keep saying on Instagram, if it actually is 3 keys and not 2 keys, then I've been working essentially against myself this entire time.
Yeah, which means that we've got to endure another week and a half of you trying to figure out how to undo what you've done for the last week and a half.
So you're thinking that those, instead of those being wedged in, what you think they're past each other and the tail of the wedge is sticking out?
No, I personally think there's
that is a possibility also.
Yeah, like I really think there's 2 keys. Everywhere else on the machine has 2 keys. But
no, but do you understand what I'm saying? Like the fat part could be against the fat part internally, as opposed to sticking out.
Yes, it could be horrendous.
But if you beat on those keys to get them back out, you beat on them in the beginning, didn't you? To get them to try to drive out.
They're all mushroomed over now. Like I've beaten the hell out of it.
So you beat them in and out.
Yes, they don't move. I can move them like up and down.
Ooh, but that's something.
Yes, but only the portion that isn't touching the other key.
So it might be broken.
No, in the sense that all I'm doing is bending the steel up and then bending it down, and eventually I'll just snap that off, and then I'll be fine.
Oh, okay. I thought you were having a shim. I thought it was shimming.
You already are fine.
Yes, it's not an ideal. It's horrendous. Like, this die has not been removed in like 100 years. This is.
Do you know the history of that machine that you bought?
Yes, it was in a coal mine in the south of the province most of its life. Then they shut the coal mine down, and the power hammer fell over, and a bunch of those parts were broken. And then they were someone picked that up at some point years later, like 60 years later, and decided to recast the parts and make some slight modifications in terms of making their own parts for it.
Was it Joe Wilcox, the town's prankster?
Yeah, basically. So I don't know who shoved these keys in.
He's got magical keys in there?
Yeah, and they might have put them all in incorrectly. It's not a fun time. So now it's in my possession. And it was super cheap because of its condition. So
how much is cheap?
That was $900.
I paid $25 for mine. Non-working.
Andrew's mind just exploded.
Andrew, remember when we were talking? This is a funny story for the listeners.
Andrew's dying now. That's why I have it, because it's so cheap. Like, even it's totally worth it.
What is he? I don't understand. Is he upset that you spent too much? Well, I don't know.
No. No. Just keep your mouth shut on what you pay for things, because then somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, when you go to sell it,
you
paid $900 for it. I should be able to buy it for $1,100." Really? No.
Yeah. Well, then I'll show them.
Andrew, do you want to tell the story to the audience about that you and I were in contact with the same seller before we knew each other?
We've
Do you want to tell us?
No, we've told.
All right. I mean, okay, never mind.
So I will tell you this story. I'm trying to buy a commercial shrink wrap machine.
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah. Landtech 300 is what I'm after.
Yeah, one of the best of the Landtechs.
Have you seen them? They're pallet shrink wrapping machines.
You just put the pallet.
That's what you need to do. You need to stretch wrap shit so doors don't fall off stuff.
I know. I have felt so bad about this every day since that happened. I've been trying to mitigate any future problems.
So Andrew sent me. We probably talked about it last week, but you sent me the double D sander, and it's like sitting on a piece of wood. You're like, all ready to go. I'm like, yo, bro, you gotta like fucking put some protection around that. So you put the wooden bumpers around it, but then it showed up missing a part because it wasn't stretch wrapped.
So it's gonna be watch the stretch wrap. It's amazing.
You just dump the pallet on, and pallet spins.
The pallet spin, plus it weighs it also.
Oh,
so that's where you get. That's hilarious.
And the shrink wrap goes up and down the pallet.
It's
but if I did that, like to Jimmy's point, on everything I send, it would be so much better. And I feel like so much time.
I feel like I could wrap myself in this for some sexual fetish thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally. Well, when you're here, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll just get naked and you can wrap me.
Well, can you see how the Saran wrap is going up?
Yeah. It's great.
So I found one used, and the guy, it's shrink wrap, SHRINK, and I found the guy who misspelled it, SHWRENK.
Shrink.
And his thing's been on there for like 7 months. And so it's
like nobody knew to find it.
Lowered and lowered and lowered and lowered and lowered. So I contacted him and I was like, I'll take it at that price.
Maybe that's because it's a past tense. It's a shrank wrapped. It's already been shranked.
It was shranked.
But how convenient would it be? Like, just do this and be done with whatever you're palletizing.
I say it all the time. I'll say it again. Yeah. I think it's important to stretch wrap everything, because if it falls over or something bangs into it, it might get damaged, but at least it'll stay together. The broken parts will be inside the stretch wrap.
Yeah, I appreciate that advice, Jimmy. I'm going to be doing that.
I told you that the last time when you sent me like a wicker basket with like.
Have you ever heard of kicking a dead
1,000 pounds of 1,000 pounds of steel in it?
Jesus Christ, son! I said I'm getting one. That should be enough.
Even the Sally thing. I suggested, Rob, we stretch wrapped it, then we put like a wooden armature around the whole thing, and once this thing clears up, we're going to send it to you.
Yeah,
by the way, if you buy shrink wrap at like Home Depot or something like that,
I get it from Uline by the crate.
It becomes the most aggravating thing you can ever work with, because I don't know what, like it's thinner or whatever. But if you buy a commercial grade shrink wrap, like I have here, you probably have there, it never gets stuck to itself, or you don't have to get all these peel back things. Like it actually works the way it's supposed to work.
Whenever I see stretch wrap, I steal it. Whenever I see it, like if I walk past like a moving company and they have stretch wrap leaning against the truck near the blankets, I just pick it up and I walk away and I wait for the yo. Oh, that wasn't garbage. I'm sorry, bro. Here, take it back. Always steal stretch wrap.
Surprised you're alive.
You could just buy stretch wrap. It's not like toilet paper.
It's like cheap, dude.
Oh, it is like toilet paper. It's a commodity.
This machine goes a lot slower. I want mine to go faster.
I think
just change the belting or whatever.
I think you can change the speed. The thing is pretty awesome, really.
Well, like too fast, then centrifugal force is sending your palletized items flying around the room.
Okay, so there is an evolution of palletizing shipping things. Like I've shipped things for years and years and years, heavy things, and it's to Jimmy's point, like I used to go pick up wooden pallets that were thrown behind buildings and all that kind of stuff, and then I started making my own pallets. Then I realized that was a waste of time. So now I have a company make all my pallets, so it's kind of like an evolution of
Right.
how you ship things.
You got to steal the blue ones, the ones that are supposed to be returned to Walmart. Those are the best ones. The ones that have blue paint on the end. Those are the ones that are usually well made.
Those are the CHEP pallets.
I just have my pallet made. There's a
CHEP?
Yeah, what does CHEP mean?
CHEP. I forget what it stands for, but it's just like it's a specific company. Very massive.
They're a palletizing company?
They're a pallet making company.
Oh, yeah.
They're the ones with all the blue pallets. They're mostly hardwood. They even have the breakdown of like what type.
Wait, how did you even know that, Eric? That's the dumbest thing that anyone I know has ever known.
I know tons of things I shouldn't know.
The wooden pallets that are painted blue, they're from CHEP Company.
He's right. Look at the website.
World's largest. I know. Like, how in the hell do you know that? That's ridiculous.
I'm just a pallet connoisseur.
I guess, since you use so many of them.
Yeah, I'm just always all over the pallets. Yeah, they use different domestic woods wherever they are in the world, and they'll treat them differently with like heat or chemicals, and they'll let you know, and blah blah blah.
Oh, wow.
So you can read the stamping on almost any pallet and get a kind of description of what's been done to it, what it's made of. Because there was a time once where I made a pallet cutting board for no reason.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. I totally did. And I just did it as almost like a troll move because everyone was like, oh my God, pallet wood's going to kill you and your family. But it was all just heat treated pallet wood.
Keep talking. I got to get a new headset.
Probably disgusting.
It's going to die.
Oh, your
headset. Do you use the cutting board to this day?
I still have it in the kitchen. It was more as a joke, but it actually looked really nice because it was a bunch of random hardwoods.
Yeah.
You know, like probably wrong in terms of the proper woods to use for a cutting board, but it looks cool.
Oh.
It's probably poisoned by now.
Does all of my pallets is called General Packaging Company.
That's very general.
Yeah, but they make them and bring them to me for way cheaper than I could make them myself.
Yeah, well, that's how it should.
Like I couldn't even buy the wood for what they're selling me each one. For
exactly.
You know, so it's like, you know, and every one of them exactly the same. They're not, you know, there's no like they use a laser machine, I'm sure, to cut all the wood.
Ooh, laser cut
or CNC, or CNC, whatever. CNC, I know that they have big machines in there, so it's not like
there are a lot of pallet production. It goes on everywhere. So it's more interesting when you come across those ridiculous like South American pallets that are made of like mahogany.
Oh yeah.
Purple Heart pallets. Like it's just mind blowing.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. Yeah, well, where do you see
order? So John Deere
tractor
makes a lot of their equipment in South America.
Okay.
And when they ship it up to North America, either on a pallet or with blocking or whatever, the wood that they ship it on is just mind-blowingly nice wood. Like 8x8s of Purple Heart.
Oh my God.
Used to stop the tractors
from rolling
on the
trailer. It's just dunnage is all it is. Dunnage.
Or on a massive pallet because it's some implement or something.
Sure.
So if you go to places that sell John Deere equipment, it might be the same for other farm equipment or agricultural equipment, or maybe industrial as well. You'll find just massive chunks of hardwood just waiting for you to take and just be like, yeah, I'll take this. Give me this Purple Heart, this mahogany chunk. I'll take some of this.
I mean, I think this story is nice, but I also think it may be a little far-fetched.
Okay. It is incorrect considering I have mahogany pallet right now.
Really? A mahogany pallet?
A mahogany pallet. I've broken it down. It's in my woodshed.
Oh, my.
It's amazing. So I have a friend who owns a John Deere dealership who I will be contacting after the podcast to ask him about this.
Yes, please do. What kind of like John Deere stuff?
What do you mean, John Deere agricultural?
Yeah, like not their.
Not like lawnmowers and stuff, like big tractors.
Okay. Like the
Yeah.
industrial and commercial and agricultural. Yeah, that's that good stuff.
Shoppa family, the Shoppa.
Yes, so please do that if you are looking for sensual wood experiences.
All right, am I back?
If you want to know about more sensual free wood experiences, contact your local large arborist company, and they will usually have a wood pile that they store all the wood in after they cut it down.
What I've found with the arborist is that if you make their job easier, they're very inclined to call you every time they have something cool, i.e. meaning you now are going to pick up a big log that they don't have to cut up anymore.
That's the best way if you have the means to deal with those logs.
Totally.
If you just want like free firewood or free smaller manageable pieces of nice wood, then just go to their main wood storage and just pick through it. Like I used to go like once a week and pick out all the cherry and apple wood out of the pile and just be like, yep, give me this. I want some of this. This is sexy. Mm-hmm. But I don't do that anymore.
Did y'all see that piece of wood that I...
Yeah, what were you doing with that? What was going on with that? You were making an anvil stand?
Oh, yeah, I made an anvil stand just normal. That's why I get those logs. But one guy was saying that it looked like it was a burled piece. And I'm not real savvy to that, so I was seeking data.
It looked highly figured. Yes.
Highly figured. Oh, what is that? Was it a burled piece or not?
Well, burls are tree cancer that look nice, but figuring is from just natural growth compression.
Okay. Like the four intersections come together, like you look like a crotch that you had there.
Okay. Yeah, so like if you slab that piece, it would look gorgeous. Absolutely.
Oh, it would. So I should slab it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You were saying you were going to slap some stuff up this week. Were you going to do it, or were you going to bring it somewhere to do it?
No. There's a guy that I take it to out by Canton, Donald.
He doesn't cut. Does he have a trailer that he could come by and do it?
No, he's got a sawmill kind of like April's, but much larger.
Like a wood miser, like a real one?
Yeah.
Sawmill?
He made it. I think he made it, though. It's huge.
Jimmy, are you getting the grizzly one?
I haven't heard from them. I don't know what's going on. And then since this whole thing came down, my contact in Vermont, I haven't had a chance to really check in with him. I know we have till June for them to clear that property, and I'm sure I'll get another phone call from them soon. But he has that old circular mill that's from the 1880s, which I would love to salvage and reposition up here somewhere. So
yeah,
me and Andrew might go. We might go to that pick together if you want to try and sneak over the border and come hang out with us.
Yeah.
Once it's clear up.
Yeah, I probably can't even enter the country.
Yeah.
Actually.
No.
Well, you can't. Americans can't get into Canada.
No, I know that.
So yeah, it'll be interesting, but yeah, I'm kind of disappointed or a little bit sad because my sawmill's going soon in the next few weeks.
Will you sell it?
You're selling it?
Yeah.
Why?
It's going bye. I just too busy doing other things, and it's taken up a massive amount of space and somewhat dangerous for children who like to play in the backyard with a giant exposed saw blade at all times under tension. Not the best idea, really. So I'm gonna sell it. It's like the guy that's buying it. He already gave me the goods, so it's pretty much gone. So now I got to repurpose my solar kiln into something, and I don't really know what to do yet.
A solar hot tub for human beings?
No, you'd probably die.
Oh.
Yeah. Even a greenhouse doesn't work. It's too hot in there. I got to make some adjustments or something.
Oh.
It's extremely hot in there. What is 70 Celsius? What's 70 Celsius in Fahrenheit?
Ask Siri.
Just ask.
Hey Siri, what is
70
Celsius in Fahrenheit?
70 degrees Celsius is 158 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah. Okay. So it's very hot in there.
Yeah,
It's not for plants or humans. So, well, I'll do something. I don't know. I'll think of something.
Sure, get off my screen.
Yeah, I'll grow a crack in there or something. It's an end of an era.
So I found something cool. The other day, a buddy of mine visited me from Boston. He drove to my house in East Durham from Boston, and he zigzagged his way. Not Derek, another guy. He zigzagged his way over here, and he goes, oh yeah, I passed that barn with the old Cadillac out front. I'm like, what barn? He goes, it's like 4 miles away. I'm like, where? What barn? He goes, I don't know. And he sent me a picture of it, and I was able to geotag where the picture was geotagged.
Right.
So he airdropped me the picture, and I geotagged it, and I'd never been there ever. And so the other day I drove over and I found it. It's a 1963 Cadillac sitting in front of a barn.
Oh, good.
And the property's cut in half by the road. And across the street, I went in the other barn, and there's a big giant John Deere bulldozer in the barn. And inside the other barn, there's 2 other cars, but they're like a Plymouth K car and like a Buick LeSabre, nothing special. But this 1960 Cadillac's got under 30,000 miles on it. And it's been sitting since 1977. So I went on the tax map and I found the people that own it. They actually live near my mother, and I wrote them a letter. I dropped it in the mailbox a couple days ago. So I might be getting this. My goal is to get this 63 Cadillac. It's a Fleetwood, and if I can get it running, I'll make that into my pickup truck.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It's a really long 4-door. That's super rusty.
That's a great idea.
I don't know. The people that own the house bought the house 2 years ago, and the car's been sitting in the same spot for 40 years. So
they probably don't know how to move it. A lot of people just don't know how to move things.
Oh, yeah, no, it's
just decoration now.
Yeah,
whatever. They don't care.
So
I hope you get it. That'd be fun.
That'd be hilarious.
So I'm
that'd be so. I wonder how much weight you could put in the back before it like bottomed out. Just jack up those axles. Maximum.
Yeah. There's no
tonnage.
what you're talking about right now.
I'm looking at the picture I just got texted to me by a friend of mine of something about day 8.
Yeah, that's Taylor playing with your cat. Look closely. No, look closely at the picture.
I know. What is she eating? A donut? It is somebody playing with a cat.
And you thought it was something else, you perverted freak.
I really did think it was something else.
There's so many good memes and stuff going around. I finally understand what a meme is.
Finally entering 2004.
So wait, guys, look at this Cadillac I just sent you.
We can see it.
Killer pickup truck.
All right, let's see.
Look at the patina on the hood. It's got 28,000 miles on it.
Does it really? Oh yeah, that's a good looking car.
I'll check that text message in a month and a half when I get it.
Oh yeah, there it is. So anyway, but it was funny. My buddy's like, "Oh yeah, that," and you know what he says to me? He goes, "Oh yeah, I was driving. We drove past the Cadillac, and he actually took a picture of it to show me. And then he says, he goes, oh, and then we passed the guy that sells all kinds of tractors and fire trucks. I'm like, wait, Smiley's? He's like, yeah, Henderson's or something. And that's the place we went to. So I'm like, how come I didn't know about this barn with a Cadillac out front? It was definitely nestled away off the main road. So I don't know how his GPS zigzagged and passed this like little oddball street hidden. And the house is abandoned and the barns are abandoned and all the cars are abandoned. But somebody purchased the house in 2018. So we'll see. I sent them a note. 65 acres.
Like, why can't I live in an area that's in decline perpetually?
Because you live in the suburb.
Oh, wait, guys, let me tell you something. You want to hear? I'll tell you about the hoarder house. So Taylor was looking online. She's always looking for a good deal. And we found this house down the road that said $10,000 for 1 acre. It's a small house. What? And we went to go look at it, and it's fairly dilapidated. And it's in a little area that was flooded for the first time in 100 years. So it's like in the middle of a 100-year flood zone. And so we make an appointment with the guy to come, and I don't want to say the name of the thing because I don't want people to go and up the price of all the properties. But it's one of the counties around here that has a trust of all properties that nobody's paying taxes on. So they just want to get them in the hands of able-bodied, like eager people to do stuff. So we're walking through the house, and there's shit everywhere. I mean, I think we had to sign something that said in case we fail a trip, we won't sue anybody. And we're walking through the house, and they're asking $10,000 for the house. And so I said to the guy, I go, would you take 500? And he absolutely dead serious looks at me and goes, yeah. I go, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, we just put the number 10 on them. We just to kind of weed out the people that think they're going to get a place for free. He goes, but in all honesty, he goes, we just want people to take these places over and like cultivate them, and so they can stop paying tax on them.
Wow.
And there's a place right down the road. Like, Eric, you drove past the church. When you leave my house, you go past the little graveyard in the church that's on the bend on the way to the flea market.
Right.
I don't know if you remember. It's a little abandoned church with Gothic arch windows. He said you could have the church for free if you want. He goes, comes with the property. It's 1 acre up the hill.
Oh, now you want it.
It's like it's literally it's like 6 feet from the road. So like 18 wheels will be like brushing your nose if you go outside to like smoke a cigarette. So and that place is, I don't know. I'm going to talk to this guy. Maybe we will take the church. I don't know.
Okay, so Jimmy,
church anymore?
No, what I mean is just it's too close.
Okay, so Jimmy, in 10 years. What percent of East Durham are you going to own?
This is down the road, actually. This is in a different town. Like I said, I don't want to say the name because I don't want people to go buy the house from under me. But there's a lot. Yeah, I talked to my partner this morning, and I told him, and I said, dude, I told him about this website. You got to go look. He's like, he's stuck in the suburbs down there, and he's like, damn, because you're being up there in the boonies, not talking to anybody, and you know. That's going to be the consequence of this. Everyone's going to move to the suburbs. The city living is going to be cheap. You can buy a condo in the city for cheap.
Yeah, it's possible.
I've said this is the perfect time to own a ranch. This is a great reason to own a ranch.
Would you like to talk about the advantages of owning a ranch?
Well, just self-sustainability would be the biggest thing, I think, in this time and age with uncertainty on all that. You want to talk about zero exposure, buy a ranch and never leave.
Yeah, right.
If you can grow stuff, yeah.
Well, everyone keeps saying to me, are you guys cool? I'm like, we got chickens, and I said it in the beginning of the podcast. And while we were talking, my buddy in Florida, my buddy, actually, he's from Florida, but he lives in California. He sent me a message. He goes, dude, chickens are getting harder and harder to find. There's people waiting for the trucks to show up at Tractor Supply with chickens so they could buy them immediately.
Wow.
Not
okay, that's
me.
ridiculous. You could get chickens so easily, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm saying not near me. They've been extremely easy to get, but they did say that they are selling out faster than usual. So.
Yeah, no, I guess people don't want to go to the stores often for risk aversion purposes.
Yep.
Have y'all seen the series Tiger King? I know Jimmy hasn't because he doesn't watch TV, but
dude, I called you Tiger King in the beginning of the episode. You didn't hear me. That's you.
I did not know.
You gotta bleach your tips, and start wearing fucking gold lame, dude. That's you.
That guy has got the funniest personality. Oh my god, what a
I haven't
seen
it. No, I've been watching Dave.
Dave is hilarious.
Yeah.
Who's Dave Chappelle?
No. He's about a rapper, a Jewish rapper, a white guy.
Another YouTube to TV conversion.
Oh, really?
Super fun.
Yeah, it was pretty. Oh my god! I've heard about this just this morning about Tiger King.
Taylor and I watched this last night out of nowhere. It's so funny how things like boil to like the surface.
Yeah.
Taylor and I never watch TV because the only thing we watch is like Saturday Night Live on YouTube repeats. That's it. And last night she's like, we had dinner, we laying down. She's like, oh, let's see what's on Netflix. And I opened it up, and my brother talked about the Tiger King a couple days ago. I'm like, oh, let's watch this Tiger King show. We immediately got into it, fell asleep to it. I woke up. She had woken up before me and put it on at like 6 a.m. So I woke up to like episode 4, waking up to it this morning. And then we watched I didn't finish it yet, but it is definitely entertaining and crazy the way the documentarian team was there at the right time. At the very beginning of 5 years ago, when this guy's life looked like it was like a rocket, just like a never-ending money train of money, of visitors, and his zoo is going crazy, and then everything kind of fell to pieces over those 5 years, and it ended up for a crazy documentary.
That's
very popular right now.
It looks ridiculous. I'll if I ever have time in my life to do anything, I will get to that.
Binge watch it, dude. Just binge watch it.
I don't have time to binge watch. I get like half an hour at night.
Yeah, and y'all are always on YouTube.
Yeah, I got stuff to do. I'm working on videos. I got to make maximum videos.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna start making. I have a couple of good ideas this week. I'm gonna probably release a couple of videos a week now instead of just one.
Yeah,
I don't
like
now
would be the
come
time.
up with an idea for the other one to do, and you have to do it and then see how it turns out view count wise.
I still want to do with Jimmy at some point the wooden barbecue.
The whole thing just burns completely away.
Yeah, I still think that's
like
an
when your
amazingly
food's cooked,
fun.
the barbecue pit's just done.
It's a one-time use barbecue.
That'd be funny, dude.
Self-fueling.
That's like the Swedish candles where they take a log and put an X in the top of it.
Yes, kind of like that. But we'd actually make it look like a nice barbecue. Like even carve the outside, the lid, make the grill.
That's a high concept art project right there. That's like an Urs Fisher project. I don't know if you follow him.
Well, and it would change too with what you were cooking.
Oh yeah.
Well, you only get one shot.
Yeah, but if you were cooking brisket versus, let's say, chicken,
yes.
It's a different barbecue pit. It's a different wood, maybe. But it's a great idea. I want to do it. But it has to have variations, too.
The largest carbon footprint barbecue you could possibly come up with, which is perfect for Andrew.
No, it's more economical because it disappears when you're done.
Yeah, there you go. You don't have room for a barbecue all the time? Try this single-use barbecue.
Yeah. Light it and forget about it.
Can I bring up one subject?
Yeah.
Andrew, would you like to do a live critique of one of our videos here on the show? Would you like to discuss?
We should set that up when. Well, why don't we could put it on the?
I'm happy to do it. I'm very happy to do it.
He could record it like himself later and put it up on the Fitzall YouTube.
That would be funny.
Okay.
And just be like,
we could start right now. And this antique check perforator is a great one. Let me just tell you.
Yeah, everyone loves that one. That's so.
Andrew sent me and Eric notes. It looked like he wrote it with his foot, his non-dominant foot. Notes on what was wrong with our videos. It was like if all the viewers were like him.
First of all, I have bad penmanship to start off with. Second of all, my wrist is so jacked up. I've told you this before that I can't bend it too far one way or the other without it like having excruciating pain. So my penmanship.
You have ganglion cysts.
Oh my God, my thing is so jacked up. Anyways, so that's why my penmanship was bad. But that doesn't matter. I sent you guys a perfectly honest evaluation of your videos because I've never really sat down to watch your YouTube videos before, and I thought being quarantined I would do it. Yeah, and in doing so, I was so baffled by a few things that I thought I would make notes, share them with you, which I did. And what I love about after sharing my notes was I made sure to preface that I'm not trying to be an asshole. Like that is not my intent.
I wasn't offended at all.
Yeah, no.
And then Jimmy at the end was like, "I love you so much, Andrew." I was like, "Okay, good. He's not pissed off. He does not personal. It just is what it is."
Yeah.
And now we go back to Eric with his check perforator. The one thing that's about to happen was the best part of the whole thing. Here in a minute, you're like, okay, that doesn't sound good. I'll come back to it later. I loved that because something was up inside the housing of this check perforator that everybody should take time to restore.
Obviously,
they're so necessary in this.
You've seen my check perforator that says the word canceled in it. Have you seen mine?
No.
I'll send it. I'll do an Instagram story on it later. I've been meaning to since this video came out. I keep forgetting.
So my critique actually was only for the first 7 minutes of 24 minutes of this video because I couldn't take any more.
No, and which is personally, I'm impressed that you made it 7 minutes. Everyone
needs to know, like, I'm the anomaly here. Like, everyone likes to watch these videos and stuff, and I'm glad that y'all make them for that reason. But for me, I'm too ADD, and Like, I don't know.
The funniest thing for the listener, every video that we ever discuss, like we'll be discussing a video for like a couple of days, and then I don't know what Eric will say to Andrew, how many minutes of it did you watch? And Andrew will say 30 seconds.
Here's my notes on their videos, okay?
Oh, we'll post that on Instagram.
Yeah. But I'm going to say
let me just read them off.
The
Jimmy
drill press
video. Too shaky.
Yes.
There's too many noise differences.
Yes.
The camera stability is awful.
Yes.
No background mess on set.
Yes.
Zoom in, zoom out is shit.
I agree.
Stop holding the camera in your hand.
Okay, I agree.
The fast forward talking is annoying as fuck.
Well, people like that.
Lathe work, holding camera, fuck you.
That was my favorite critique. He just gave up and wrote, fuck you.
The lighting, side angle shots, blow me. Hold your camera straight.
I'm going to say this about the drill press video, and I said it before. I never intended on that to be a full 13 or 15-minute video. I was just trying to get a couple of key spots so that I could do a vlog segment on it. I wasn't going to do a full restoration video on it. Then when I started sifting through it to put together like a 4-minute thing, I'm like, even though this footage is shitty because my heart wasn't in it, there's enough footage here to do a full video. So that's why I put a full video out. And it's still got, I don't know, how many views does it have there, CC?
Okay, number 11 for the drill press video.
280. I mean, that's no hand tool rescue numbers, but that's our take. Eric gets that in the first 8 minutes.
Yes.
Wait, why did I say Duresta's giant drill press, but it's playing Eric's stupid ass?
Yeah, what is going on?
Yeah, that's funny.
Jimmy, are you hacking my system?
That is strange, man. That is weird. Reload you got to reload the browser.
That's very odd.
Okay, the 11th item for the drill press video is this 80s porn lighting?
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you what I wrote for Eric's paint sprayer video.
Oh, God.
Okay, shall we queue up the paint sprayer video on Eric's?
It's just garbage. Just garbage video.
Okay, as the thing starts, all I could think to myself was, how long does it take to remove screws?
1 screw.
Yeah.
The second it started? Yeah, that was a purpose. So, literally the first scene in this after my intro is get this ad. Yes, thank you. It's basically a joke I looped over multiple times, unscrewing that screw. So it took like 10 full seconds to unscrew it.
Which is why you only got half the amount of views as you should have.
Honestly, probably, but I'm willing to do that for comedy purposes.
Yes.
Because I enjoy it. I enjoy it massively myself.
Again, if y'all want to see exactly what we're talking about, you can watch our YouTube or watch our podcast on YouTube. So here we are with Eric just going over and over and over, unscrewing the same screw nut over and over and over. I just couldn't believe it. And then I said that you were zoomed too close. Enough with your hands.
Enough with my hands.
Which is the whole premise of this concept of the channel.
Number 4 on my thing is, wow, what's up with the Friday the 13th breathing? How scary. Too long. At 7 minutes and 18 seconds in, I checked out.
Oh, we got an extra 18 seconds.
Number 6, power first, in quotes. Power first tools. What is the shit?
Oh, Power Fist tools from
Whatever.
Princess Auto. Yes,
What
the
is
garbage.
Power Fist?
Number
That's
7.
the Princess Auto brand of tools.
Number 7. I see the orange vice jaws flexing. What a piece of shit.
They're the soft jaws. That's what they're supposed to flex.
Okay, I'm number 8. 9 minutes and 48 minutes in. I'm over it and I'm moving on.
Yeah,
we got to get you to critique. We got to get you to critique other fun videos from other YouTubers.
Yeah, we'll just have
Go ahead.
We'll do it.
I don't want. The thing is like me doing it with y'all is out of pure fun and comedy and all that. I don't want people to think that I'm actually being serious because then I would be a dick, and I don't want to be a dick.
Yeah, no. We'll just keep those ones. Those chats are private.
Well, I think it's fun. I'll critique other people's videos, but it's not a true.
No, to be honest, the funniest thing is your attention span is like 14 seconds, no matter whose video it is. Could be one of ours or could be anybody else's.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is awesome.
Exactly. Okay, we should do Hot on the Horizon technically right now.
Did we just start the podcast though, didn't we? How far in are we?
140 minutes. Oh, sorry. 1 hour 42 minutes.
Yeah, it's time.
1 hour 42 minutes.
It's time, my children. It's time.
You got to go babysit duties?
Well, always now that we're in quarantine.
I have to go solder my lathe wires. That's what I have to do.
Yeah, like that's very exciting. I would much rather solder wires.
Yeah.
I want to just crimp the ends, a terminal on each end, and then put a bolt on there and then tape around it.
Well, because they were cut rando, they're all like 8 inches shorter than they need to be, than they should be. I can't, unless I drill a hole and come in the top of the switch, which would be stupid.
Right, so you got to add length to it.
I got to add. Well, I could probably solder them but the other problem is all the solder joints will be right on top of each other. So when I put the housing back on, so I'm going to stagger the solder joints. So to do that, I have to add in pieces of like 12 gauge wire. So that bundle, I'm going to stagger all the solder joints so the bundle will close tightly. I just hope I didn't break any of them inside the motor. Because what's fucked up, and I guess anybody that knows how a motor is wound would know this, those big windings are one like shellac-coated copper wire that goes hundreds of thousands of feet. And then it comes out to the end, and then it's soldered to like a multi-strand 12-gauge wire. So you have one strand of wire soldered to a pack of wires. And that one strand of wire in fucking 100 years, you're hoping won't just zigzag and break loose, and this thing's been moved a bunch of times, including by me when I pulled the front end housing off. So the other night when I bundled the wires together and I tried to like bend them back up to get them through the lathe bed where they're supposed to be, I'm like, fuck, I know I broke 2 of these wires.
Have you checked for continuity with that motor?
No, don't talk to him about that.
Yeah,
totally.
He wrote the word continuity on the side of it, like check mark.
Yeah, nailed it, guys. I checked.
I was gonna do like the way a real man checks if the motor works, is just wire the whole fucking thing up, keep one person on the breaker switch and one hand on the other switch. See if it turns.
Instead of waste, you could check right now with those wires if the motor's garbage or not.
No, well, I think what I'm going to do, let's say that blows and that doesn't work. Jack English sent me a VFD. Jack, thank you. So what I'm going to do is I'll take that VFD, try and figure out the wires for position 4, and then be able to use the VFD with position 4 and then be able to dial it back from there. Does that make sense? You think that would work?
Right. One of them could work, is what you're saying. But just take a multimeter and check in like 2 seconds.
Well,
and you can see if any of the windings are broken inside, and or if there's some short somewhere.
Just stop, Eric. Just stop.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead, Andrew.
I saw a picture of Jack English the other day smiling.
In front of his wooden door.
I was so mind blown that I wrote him a message that says, Jack, what's up with the smile, dude? And he was like, all right, you got me. I actually love the social distancing thing, and I'm so happy about it. He was I was made for this. I was made for this.
Check out Jack's channel on Instagram. He does beautiful woodwork, and he has incredibly interesting old machines, mostly old English machines, pun intended. So, what else? Hot on the horizon. I think hot on the horizon is I'm going to try and organize my shop. I think right now, considering, I'm a little nervous about money, only because one of my advertisers is on a spending freeze right now. So that means a lot of money to me is going to be also on a spending freeze. So I'm just being a little conservative. If anything, I'm going to try and drag one of these antique cars I found in the mud and try and get that up and going again. Is that the same Jack English? That guy looks a little too slim and dapper.
Oh no, that's a different guy. It's like Jack's old machine shop or something, or old something.
That's Jack English.
Gina Jameson, that was the right one.
Yeah, that's. Is that what happens? You just type J in? Yeah, it'd be impressive to see a nice clean shop.
Yeah, Aaron's doing a great job at organizing some of the stuff that's been.
It'd be nice to see a nice clean shop. I thought you were going to say shaved.
Nice shave. No, shaving. I don't even know. Now that all the hair salons or whatever, hair cuttings closed, like I'll just look like a caveman.
Jack English Machines is the one.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of woodworking the other day, just carving a handle. And
I saw that. I'd say you look like you were inspired by Brett. Boy, you really knew how to. Brett taught you really how to use that shave horse thing. You know what I'm talking about.
And like I've seen Brett do these things before.
Well, I forgot you don't watch YouTube. Brett, you did a video that day when you were doing yours, when you were doing your draw knife. That morning, Brett put a video out of using a shave horse with a draw knife. So for a minute, I'm like, oh, he's answering Brett. And then I was like, oh, wait, he never watches YouTube. So there's no way he could have even known about that.
He's just making handles.
Yeah.
No clue. Look, there's the picture of Jack smiling right there.
Yep.
Yeah, draw knife is fantastic. It's incredibly
I'd like to meet that guy in person. He's very talented, that guy is.
Yeah, we hung out in September when I was up there.
What's his personality like?
Ontario. He's a cool dude. He's just like you, or he's you guys would mesh well.
He's a sexual predator.
Yeah.
Maybe. I've seen him jump people's shit before pretty hardcore.
I think all of us in this, there's a certain language we all speak, all us YouTuber Instagrammers that like making shit and like restoring shit. So, once you have that entree into anybody's world, it's easy.
Yeah.
Conversation is easy. I've said that a million times. So, if I walked up and said, hey, so you use old tools? What is that like? He probably wouldn't have been as nice to me as he was. So
that's how I'm going to introduce myself to him.
Hi, Jack. So you like these old tools?
Exactly. Okay. Andrew, what do you have coming up?
Well, I mean, how could any of us have anything hot on the horizon right now with this being locked down?
I got tons of things.
I'm going to start working on my golf course, the racetrack across the street.
My horizon has never been hotter. Okay, some of the hottest horizons of ever.
I would like to start with a little tractor. I have my eyes on a couple of local tractors. Now that I gassed up and changed all the fluids in my tractor and it's running great.
Okay, wait. We haven't yet talked about this.
What?
Jimmy cleaning his tractor with spray paint.
Oh, yeah. Well, you don't like that idea? What's wrong with you?
This was blasphemous.
Oh, yeah. Jimmy spraying over the grease?
This is blasphemy.
Time out, son.
I'm protecting. I was protecting.
Protecting.
I'm protecting.
Look at wrote on what my hot on the horizon should be.
Moving shit out of our garage to your shop.
Nice.
Thank
Yeah, that's blasphemy. Blasphemy. I don't like that. I have many projects I would like to get to in the next few months that I'm on lockdown here. Obviously, the power hammer, as we discussed. I would like to also strip the paint off the Bridgeport because it's white and it was painted by a monkey. So it's just everywhere where paint shouldn't be. Not interested in that. And then I also have coming up one of the first things Starrett ever patented.
Yes. Talk about this. A food masher? What the hell is it?
In 1865. So before he made very highly prized machinist measuring tools, apparently he made a early version of a food chopper, officially called a food hasher in the patent. You would throw whatever you want cut up in this bucket and turn the crank, and a blade would go up and down as the bucket spins, so you get an even fine chop across the whole bucket area.
Did you put a carrot or anything in there to feel the resistance on that thing?
No, I haven't tried it yet. It's probably
here's what's interesting about that. It's a very unique design. It's like a walking beam, like a
teeter-totter.
Yeah, it looks like a dart.
Like this, and then every time it rotates, the bowl rotates, but the bowl is wood. So
Well,
it's made
the outside of the bowl is copper.
vegetable
Yeah, but the
or
bottom is wood.
meat or whatever, dude.
Meat.
So
Meat.
and it doesn't
and
come
vegetables.
apart to be washed. Like you would
No,
have
that's-
to wash it like it is.
That's what I don't really understand. When I look at the machine, I don't see how I can clean it easily without actually taking
This is
apart some
how-
of the castings.
Botulism, scombroid toxin, like trichinosis.
None of that
all
existed
things.
back then. It didn't matter.
Well, it
No,
did. We just didn't
just
have
after
anybody
that, this is how
diagnosed.
they did. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's going to be very interesting. I haven't been able to pin down an exact age on mine or how it was originally painted, but I'll figure that out soon. But I've wanted that thing for a while because it's somewhat of historical importance, I feel like, for what I do.
It's
You
cool.
know, that's literally one of the older tools that I've going to be restoring on camera. Like 1865.
I have.
I don't know how long they actually made them for. Maybe it's a 1940s food chopper, but I don't think it is.
No. I think
Definitely looks pre-turn of the century. What?
Yes,
I think they made two sizes of it.
there's definitely more than one size. I have a 10-inch. Maybe there's a 8-inch or a 12-inch. I don't remember. But I will do that research. So that's coming up. Along with just the general things. Now that the summer's coming, I wanted to get into the drag saw 2 or 3 years now. So I'm really interested in getting that going. Because
What is
that's
the drag
both
saw?
the drag saw is the hit and miss engine powered crosscut saw. Yes,
Oh, that's
exactly.
cool.
Right.
It's like a big
And
hacksaw.
So it's an hit and miss engine restoration, and then I have to restore the original oak frame and all the other castings along with it. So it'll be a lengthy process. But that's kind of what I got coming up.
Is any of
Very
these things
cool.
going to be using evaporust?
Oh yeah.
Yes, and we should remind people again. So it's
Use code 25 Fitzall Pod. That's 25 FITZALLPOD.
is the freaking code.
And what do they
Don't
get
tell
for
me-
that?
Don't tell me it isn't. We don't know what size it is. Well, I'll let you know in terms of having a direct link at the either on the video on YouTube. There'll be a direct link, or in the description of this podcast episode, and we'll post some links on Instagram as well to give you an easy direction to go for that specific product. But it's going to be on just the Safe Erase paint and varnish remover gel.
Yes.
And you can watch me use it if you really want to have a look at it first. When I start stripping this power hammer, I'm very, very excited to see how it works on that old lead paint.
Which one?
it-
Hey, Fairbanks.
The Fairbanks, I'm going to strip it, no paint. I'm not even going to repaint it. It's just going to be bare wire wheel essential castings.
Mine isn't painted. Brett did all the dirty work on that. He wire wheeled the hell out of that, and we just
The
keep it
hell out of it?
covered with oil. Just
Yeah.
all oiled.
Yes.
Actually,
that's
this summer, maybe I'll paint it black. It'll look good, nice glossy black.
the super gloss never dry.
Yes, it doesn't have to dry. It's outside.
Why
It
don't, you
doesn't
should
matter.
Japan the whole thing.
How are you going to make the arms? What is your plan to do all the
Okay,
machining
so-
on the rest of the complicated parts?
Okay, so we've talked about it a little bit before. The complicated machining is going to be done by Adam Booth. He's going to get started on that. It's apparently in line for his next project after he finishes with whatever he's doing right now. So that'll be very interesting to follow along with. The less complicated machining I will do myself. It's just drilling holes. The most complicated part is the actual linkage arms. I assume that's what they're called. That needs to be thought about a little longer. The ones that you have magically, I don't think they're big enough.
Doesn't
don't
seem
think-
like it.
Yeah, so I don't know what that's from exactly. I guess we could weld on extra pieces to make it fit, because someone already laser cut out, just telling the viewers, someone already laser cut out linkage arms for
The one I
Jimmy's-
have.
for the one he has, but mine is for some reason different.
A little bigger.
It's a little bigger, but apparently they're the same ram weight, so I don't really know what's going on there.
I think what they did with mine, they cut out those intending to forge them into the right angle and weld on cylinders that would carry the pins.
It's totally possible.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I should take those and then make that welding modification, or if that's too risky and just get it water jet cut or laser cut out of the appropriate dimensions and just be done with it. Because I have to make an order, because I just finished the design on the 9-inch wrenches. I have to make an order with the laser place, and I might as well do it now.
Oh, have that made.
Rather than wasting extra money having them laser something out later. So I don't know. I'm going to have to really think about that, because I can't forge like 1.5 inches thick of steel and bend it massively with kind of what I have going on, at least consistently.
How would you bend it?
Well, my idea would be to heat it up, and at the laser place they have a giant brake, like a 1,000-ton brake, like a CNC brake. So I might just get them to do that and bend it consistently and accurately. And then I can do the machining of it later. But getting it hot and bending, maybe I can bend it cold. I have no idea. But I don't even know what I should make that out of. Do you have any suggestions? Like in terms of types of steel?
Mild?
Mild, Andrew? No, not mild.
For the arms?
For the linkage, where the spring would be attached to.
No, I mean, I think you would want to use, something that was more than mild steel.
Like 4140.
Yeah.
Really? All right. Or like a, yeah, all right.
I think that would be a good question for someone else.
I could do a spark test on pieces I have, see what they made them out of.
Yeah, maybe there's something there.
But Jimmy, are those pieces you have, they're forged for sure?
No, they're flame cut. What's his name? Fletcher's team had them made. They were going to restore that hammer before I got it.
Yeah.
So either Fletcher or the guy Fletcher was hanging on to it for, who I never met, he had those parts all cut, and they were going to bend them, forge them, and weld on all the parts. It was either that or do what I did, which is I bored everything out and I put bronze sleeves inside everything. They thought it would be easier to make them completely over. Obviously, for me, it was easier to bore them out, do what I did.
Yes.
What kind of pie is that behind you, Jimmy, right there?
Taylor made this last night. This is apple pie.
Yeah. It's called Make Your Ass Big Apple Pie.
Make your ass big.
Amazing.
Apple
pie's unreal.
Doing the, what do they call it? The quarantine 15? That's what someone's been calling it.
Are apples in season in New York right now?
No, Granny Smith apples are always in season at the supermarket.
Yeah, you didn't know that? Yeah, the worst
ridiculous.
apples of all time.
That's what this is made out of, Granny Smith apples. Want to try it?
Well, they're good for pies, yeah.
Yeah, try it.
Because of
The key is to add a little bit of maple syrup, just a dash. Just a sprig. Get that flavor.
I will say this quarantine thing is allowing people to explore their culinary side, for sure.
Yeah, I would agree.
I bet that the culinary videos on YouTube are at an all-time high.
Possibly, yeah.
Taylor's been making this great dish where she's been putting, because we have 1,000 eggs now, we cook a couple of eggs in tomato sauce. It's so good. It's like baked eggs like you would get like at a high-end like breakfast joint. Really good.
Pretty much you can do anything with some eggs, and it'll taste good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's free.
That's true.
Free, sort of free. You got to put up with the white one kicking you in the shins and the turkey going, ah!
Yeah. So we went to Tractor Supply yesterday, and they have only white turkeys. And I was like, I'll take one. And the guy goes, you have to buy 6. That's the state law. You can't just buy one.
Why is that?
And we bought like 30. We bought like 40 chickens, and I was like, oh, give me two turkeys. He's like, no, you got to buy 6. I'm like, I don't know if I want 6 turkeys running around here.
That's a lot of turkeys.
Yeah.
Well, you could buy 6 and then sell
Dispatch 3.
Oh, yeah, or that.
It seems like the whole YouTube community, it does a few things. They do chickens, donkeys, baby goats, baby lambs, a dog, and a Vietnamese potbelly pig, and then like that's it.
And the
You're talking about me and Anvil trades, and who else are you talking about? It's just us two.
It seems like there's that other blacksmith dude that has 2 donkeys, and doesn't Chris Cash have a donkey or some dogs you can ride or something?
Dogs you can ride.
Yeah, they're huge. They're huge dogs.
Like, what dogs can I ride? Because I kind of want that.
Great Dane. The Great Dane.
I feel like I would break its spine.
Well, yeah, you would. You weighed like 400 pounds.
Yeah, like actually it's 500.
Thanks for doing the push-up challenge, by the way, there, Fatty McGee.
I can't do them because the ganglion cysts in the wrist. Told you.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah.
You lost a lot of weight, though, dude. When you were like wrestling around on that thing, you look like a slimmer, younger version of yourself.
Yeah, I just ever since finding out that I'm lactose intolerant, I just don't eat anything that I used to eat.
You were just keeping milk under your shirt? Is that what it was from?
Well, I would just shove, non-stop slices of cheese in my face.
So now you can't eat cheese.
Well, yeah.
Do you feel so much better?
Yes, I do feel generally much better having a diarrhea-free life.
Wow. That's good.
It's pretty good. It's much better than the other options. Yes, so that somehow translates to losing weight because I just don't care. I'm like, do I want to eat this piece of cheesecake or do I want diarrhea for 24 hours?
You just
really good.
You don't eat it. You just skip out.
Right? But the problem is some cheesecake is
worth it.
That right? And so it's you.
Wait, hold on. You just garbled. You garbled again. You said some cheese and then you went into robot voice. Say it again.
Okay, some cheesecake is worth 24 hours of diarrhea.
There's the joke.
Okay, yeah. But not all cheesecake. Very rarely. Like I'm talking exquisite cheesecakes. I'll just do it. I don't care.
I can see it quoted now in 25 years from now. Some cheesecake is worth 24 hours of diarrhea. Some cheeses.
If I was a baker, this would be my tagline for cheesecakes that I make. So good, you don't care if it gives you diarrhea for 24 hours.
You want to hear something funny? Just before we got started, I listened to, we got to wrap it up soon, but I listened to Bill Burr's podcast and he cracks me up. And Cheesecake Factory now is going out of business because they can't pay their rent. And he goes, what is Cheesecake Factory, like a goddamn college student? You don't have 2 weeks worth of rent in the fucking bank?
Yeah.
I cracked up laughing. He goes, you guys are like fucking, he goes, you're like crack dealers for sugar and salt. He goes, you don't sell enough of that shit to the fatties in America to keep in business for more than 2 weeks without fucking selling a cake.
Yeah, that's actually hilarious. That's odd. That's very odd.
I think some of those companies are doing that so that they can get some kind of stimulus package to help actually boost their company.
Oh, well, Bill Burr said that too. He goes, many of these guys are probably taking the opportunity to be like, I need stimulus. I need stimulus or I need some rent relief or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. I'm like the American stimulus package. When people, do you understand how I have, as a Canadian, literally no concept of $2 trillion that a government could spend on anything? Like, it's not even a real number. I don't even know what it means. Like our bailout package is like $100 billion.
Yeah.
Like it just blows my mind.
Americans are more excessive. There's more.
No, it's just crazy. Like the amount of damage you can do to the economy in just like 2 weeks.
Right.
Like it's just nuts. It's impressive, almost.
It's nuts. It's impressive.
Maybe I'll be able to get a cheap forklift in a couple of days.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't think that you're gonna meet the requirements for the stimulus package, son. You're not gonna meet the requirements.
No. Someone's going to go out of business and they're going to liquidate their assets. I'm going to be able to get a forklift for $200.
I do think that the opportunity to buy things is now. Yes, I think that the opportunity to help people out by buying some of their stuff is now. I'm on the lookout. I want power hammers. Anybody who's selling their power hammer.
I want Corona power hammers. Okay, I want them all.
Whatever. We'll spray them with the old almighty bleach.
Safer race.
If anyone needs help, let me know.
Yes, safer race cures coronavirus is what we're saying on this podcast right now.
Oh, good Lord. I'm not saying that as the third party. This podcast did not come out of my mouth.
Eric said that.
Yeah,
Jim also jumped off that boat. So Eric is floating alone in the sea with his coronavirus safe erase from Evaporust.
2 or 3 injections per day.
Oh,
don't say that. You see what happened in some guy and his wife ate fish tank cleaner because they said it had the same ingredients as something somebody said was a cure.
Stupid. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so caveat, please don't do that.
There you go.
You idiots.
It's been great.
All right. Yes.
Have a
As
great
always.
rest of the Sunday. Stay healthy. Jimmy, you being in that age bracket that kind of falls into the more susceptible to the coronavirus. Want to make sure that you're taken care of, son.
Wait, if this episode goes out on April 3rd, it's my birthday.
Ooh.
April 3rd is my birthday.
You'll be 61.
I'll be 53 on April 3rd.
53, 55.
If anybody wants to give me a birthday gift, you can go join my Patreon for $1.
That's what you want?
For 1 month, and then you could back off.
No, we want them to Patreon you for at least a year.
$12 for a year.
People, Patreon Jimmy and Eric, please. I don't know what that really means, other than I know they get free money.
Do you have Patreon, Eric?
I do have Patreon, yes.
Oh, wow.
Why do you guys not Patreon each other?
What do I what?
What do you offer on Patreon?
I'm your patron.
He's a patron of mine.
I support you on Patreon. What do I offer? I offer $5 off a wrench.
Oh, cool.
And I offer narrated videos. And I offer just like a little thank you at the end of the video. That's pretty much it. It's mainly the narrated video and the discount for the wrench that people are interested in. Yes. Jimmy's giving away razor blades to everyone on Patreon, completely free. All the cost is put on him.
I got my razor blades in, by the way.
You love them?
Yeah, they're really sharp. They're really nice. They're going to be for sale soon. Waiting on the packaging, which I only had a year to develop, but I started developing it the minute I got a crate of fucking razor blades.
Well, that's better. In case they never showed up. You never know.
Yeah.
Exactly. Alrighty, people.
All
right, boys. Have fun. Thanks for your time today. Go out and save America.
I'll focus on here. For the most part. Yes. See you guys later. Always fantastic.